The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, which began in December 1979, marked a pivotal moment in the Cold War, one that would have disastrous consequences for the USSR. Seeking to prop up the communist government in Kabul, which had been struggling against insurgent groups, the Soviet Union deployed over 100,000 troops, believing it could swiftly restore stability. However, what Moscow expected to be a quick intervention spiraled into a decade-long conflict that became the Soviet Union's version of Vietnam. Afghanistan's rugged terrain, combined with the fierce resistance of the Mujahideen, a coalition of Afghan fighters supported by the United States, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia, proved to be far more than the Soviet military anticipated. The Mujahideen, using guerrilla tactics, took full advantage of the mountains, caves and rural landscapes, making it nearly impossible for Soviet forces to maintain control outside of major cities. The Soviets had superior firepower and air support, but this made little difference against an enemy that could strike quickly and then vanish into the rugged countryside. As the war dragged on, it became increasingly clear that the Soviets were bogged down in a quagmire, fighting an elusive foe in a foreign land they barely understood. The conflict also exposed deep flaws within the Soviet military and government. The Red Army, unprepared for counterinsurgency warfare, suffered heavy casualties and low morale. Soviet leaders struggled to justify the mounting costs, both in terms of lives lost and the financial drain on an already faltering economy. At home, the war became increasingly unpopular, and anti-war sentiment grew. In the international arena, the invasion tarnished the Soviet Union's global image, further isolating it as Western nations condemned the aggression. The war had a devastating effect on Afghanistan as well, with millions of civilians killed or displaced. The US and its allies supplied the Mujahideen with weapons, including advanced anti-aircraft missiles like the Stinger, which significantly hampered Soviet air superiority. The war became a proxy battle in the broader Cold War, with Afghanistan paying the heaviest price. By 1985, Mikhail Gorbachev had come to power in the Soviet Union and quickly realized that the war was unwinnable. He referred to Afghanistan as a bleeding wound and sought a way to extricate Soviet forces. Over the next few years, peace talks intensified, but the fighting continued. Finally, in 1989, after nearly a decade of conflict, the last Soviet troops withdrew from Afghanistan, leaving behind a fractured nation in chaos and a Soviet Union that was unraveling. The war had sapped the USSR's resources, exposed its vulnerabilities, and contributed to the internal discontent that would soon lead to its collapse. For the Soviet Union, the invasion of Afghanistan was more than just a military failure. It was a symbol of a superpower in decline. The war's political, economic, and social costs played a crucial role in weakening the USSR, hastening the end of the Cold War, and bringing about the eventual dissolution of the Soviet state in 1991.